Hey Helldivers, we're going to discuss a huge rumor going around about Helldivers 2's game engine. We also have news about how the next development blog post will most likely be posted this week if things go according to plan. Plus, not only that, we have so much more to discuss. If you enjoy my content, please support the channel by clicking the thumbs up button below the video, as well as tapping the hype button. With that being said, let's jump right in. Alrighty, let's discuss some amazing news. This week, there should be a new developer blog post that Arrowhead will be posting not only on their Steam page, but also on Reddit, and perhaps it'll be posted on their support site and Discord as well. Nevertheless, we know there are good signs that a blog post will be created this week, considering community manager Mitchimus replied to a Helldiver who asked about the next patch. Mitchimus said the dev team is still working on everything, and hopefully they'll be able to communicate more this week. If everything goes according to plan, then the new developer blog post should pop up tomorrow. If you recall, the previous blog post was posted publicly last Friday. We know that currently they do not have a schedule for when they're going to make the next blog post public yet, but based on Mitchimus's response, we can assume that there will be one this Friday, and possibly the developers will continue to communicate every Friday from here on out until, they're done discussing some major issues with Helldivers 2. Next up, we have big news about the Gloom. It seems like things have gotten worse because the Gloom has spread further towards Super. We can see in the latest dispatch message from High Command, they wrote, "The Gloom is spreading amongst Terminid occupied worlds. Errata Prime is now surrounded by low-density gloom, and other planets in the sector are expected to follow. The only way to stop this spread is to liberate those planets immediately." Yeah, that's not great at all. If we check out the galactic map, we can tell right away that Errata Prime now has a small amount of gloom surrounding the planet, which is what we saw before with Parshin and Overgo Prime. Speaking of those two planets, if you haven't been paying attention lately, then here's what those planets look like before. You can see a thin yellow mist surrounding both Parshin and Overgo Prime, yet there's bad news about that as well. You can see afterwards, as of today, the gloom has become thicker. After seeing this, I decided to see if the resistance has risen at all, and surprisingly, it hasn't. I do have a theory though that I brought up in another video in the past. Essentially, the theory is that once Overgo Prime reaches a resistance of 5.00, then it'll turn into a hive world. The reason why I believe that is mainly going to happen is mainly due to the fact that most of the planets inside the Gloom have a high resistance of 5.00 or higher. We know that Nivel 43 has a 4.00 resistance, and it still hasn't become a hive world just yet. Regardless, I think if the Gloom continues to push towards some of the other planets, especially Errata Prime and further, eventually it's going to reach Super Earth, and if it does, we might just see another attack on Super Earth, but this time it'll be with the Terminids instead of the Illuminate. Next, we're going to discuss an article that's been going around, as well as players in the community have been assuming that Arrowhead is going to update their game engine, basically meaning they're going to switch to a different game engine. This is not necessarily true, and what I mean by that is they are going to update or upgrade it, but it's not what you think. I've talked about this in a previous video, but we're going to go over it so I can debunk the rumors that are circulating. So we can see in this article post that pops up on Google that says essentially something about fact-checking the Helldivers 2 game engine. I've read the article before, however, we'll just go over the brief description. It also says underneath that no, Helldivers 2 isn't getting an engine update. That there have been clickbait Reddit posts and also YouTube videos going around. Now, this is true, but also false. We know that Arrowhead is not updating their engine in terms of changing the actual game engine. However, they are for sure updating it so that the game engine never wastes RAM that's loading common data that isn't needed, as you can see here. That's what they wrote in their recent tech blog post on Steam. This is going to allow the developers to make it better for us all in the end. So, while it may not be an engine swap, it is for sure going to be a game engine upgrade or an engine update, you know, tomato tomato. It's basically an improvement. That's what it is. Hopefully that'll put those strange rumors to rest, the ones circulating that the developers are planning to change their game engine. You know, all that stuff, right? If you have any questions or comments about this, feel free to post a response in the comment section below, and I'll try to respond. Continuing on with the fourth topic for today's video, we're going to talk about the flesh mobs for a brief second. I created a tutorial video in the past called the Ultimate Illuminate Guide, where I showed you the best and worst stratagems to use on the flesh mobs, as well as other enemies. In that video, I talked about how you should target the heads on the flesh mobs, and I had seen some comments at the time that said it doesn't make a difference if you target them. However, it turns out that's not the case, and the heads on the flesh mobs are great to target. So you might be wondering, how do I know? Well, if we check out a wiki site for Helldivers 2, they have health stats, as well as certain spots you should target, such as here, they show that the main body has 6,000 health. Right below that, the heads are 400 health, and can help take out the flesh mobs a tad bit faster, as well as arms and legs here that have a health of 200 and 400. Now, what I decided to do is actually test out some stuff again to see if there's a big difference between targeting the heads than the body compared to just targeting the body. The results are interesting. In the first clip, we can see that targeting the heads than the body gives me about half a magazine, with a slight bit more ammo compared to the next clip where I target just the body. The ammo difference is not significant or huge at all, yet when you target just the body, you'll end up dishing out a tiny bit more ammo than you would if you target the heads, then the body. In all honesty, you're best off just targeting the body with the stalwart. However, using something like the autocannon on flak mode will only take around 4 hits to defeat a flesh mob. You can also use the wasp stratagem as well to defeat a flesh mob with 4 rockets, and even the one of the cluster bomb stratagems, right? You can use it as well. Anyway, I've discussed that as well in my ultimate guide video, and I hope this info was helpful. If you haven't seen that one, check out my ultimate guide video. Moving along, we're going to check out a Reddit post that's sort of interesting, and I'd like to hear your feedback on how you felt about the Halo ODST Warbond. With that said, we have a Reddit post here where a Helldiver essentially said that they regret spending 1,500 super credits on the Halo crossover Warbond. Personally, I think it could use a balanced patch in the future, you know, make a few adjustments to the M90A shotgun, possibly give it higher armor penetration, like medium penetration, right, and slightly above the MA5B assault rifle. I think that would be sufficient. Now, I did see in the comments of this Reddit post where some have praised it, such as liking the player title, even talking about how great the SMG is on squid planets, which personally I'm a big fan of, you know, fighting the Illuminate. And there was another comment about the armor and how great it is because of the passive. Now, what I'd like to know is, do you regret purchasing the Halo ODST Warbond or not? And whatever your answer is, would you like to see it buffed? If so, post a comment below this video and let me know what you think. Okay, on a different note, we've got a great question that was asked towards the community manager, Baskinator. This Helldiver named Niu posted this screenshot on the official Helldivers 2 Discord. They asked if, you know, when you buy a new Warbond, do you become a part of that unit? Or is it just us dressing up as that unit, or whatever the Warbond theme is? Baskinator says, yeah, you're just dressing like them. It's not like you're becoming a part of the unit, which is a little bit, a little depressing because, you know, hey, I always wanted to be a part of the kill zone unit there. You know, there's a specific name for it, but regardless, that is what was answered. And yeah, the second question that was asked was about the glyphs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, when you're near an Illuminate tower, there's like a specific tower in game. For some reason, I can't remember the tower's name. It'll just mess up your whole entire stratagem combo, so it's hard to tap in the inputs or the combinations. Anywho, we have an answer to that. Can they be translated? No, I guess. This is what Baskinator wrote. She said, they are technically translatable, but because they're glyphs and not an alphabet, you wouldn't be able to translate them without our input or some kind of key. Huh, that is interesting, and I would love to see the key because, well, to be fair, we've received something in the past with the automaton, so why not give us something for the Illuminate? I'd love to know what they're saying to us because, you know, it would be very democratic to find out what they're saying so we can tell Super Earth, right? So yeah, that right there is interesting. And in another post, she said it's possible that they'll give us a key in the future, but or, you know, some sort of way to translate it. If I hear any more news about this, I'll be sure to let you know. Lastly, we've got the top 3 comments. First from Crested Menace, that talked about how there's the highs and lows with Helldivers 2, and it feels like a ship going through multiple storms at sea, and how, you know, Crested is willing to stay on that ship until the day it finally sinks. And I'm totally with you. Hopefully it doesn't sink and that things continue to get better instead of worse. That's me being optimistic. The second top comment is from Splatty2231 that talked about how the current major order is once again asking us to hold Hellmire, and he made a funny joke here. The third and final top comment is by Korst Mahler, if I'm pronouncing that right. You said, H, we have lightning in a bottle. Also H, we have no idea how it happened. Please help us someone. With everything being said, those are the top 3 comments. If you found today's video helpful, consider tapping the thumbs up button or the like button. Also tap the hype button below the video and make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. I hope you have found it helpful, as I've just mentioned, and I appreciate everyone from the subscribers, the members, and the lurkers. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.